welcome you to LVTV3, Laverne Community Television. We are going to step aside for the national anthem, and we'll be back with the opening of today's game here on LVTV3, Laverne Community Television. The audible noise of Bob Dyer, longtime PA announcer of the Laverne Leopards. 90 degrees. It must be football time here in Southern California, college football. The Laverne Leopards against that of the Redlands Bulldogs. We look at SCIAC standings now alongside of Zachary Nikolai. I'm Hal Hargreave. The Laverne Leopards 1-2 in conference play this year. 1-4 overall, and today matching up against Redlands, 4-2 overall, 2-1 in SCIAC play. Zachary, what has Laverne got to do today in terms of nipping this Redlands Bulldogs team on the road?
They need to be able to do something they haven't done all season, that is stay balanced. I mean, the past 5 games that they've had, they have run the ball great. I mean, they over 200 yards per game. Redlands also does a great job of running the ball, but in order to win today, we need Josh Evans to move the chains on third downs. And
when you talk about moving the ball and running it on the ground, none other than James Gonzalez. This is a guy that Laverne is going to have to lean on heavily today. He had 180 on the ground last week with 3 touchdowns. How will he play in today's game plan?
Oh, he's a fantastic running back, one of the better ones in the league. Look for him to make a huge impact today.
It was a 43-20 win last week on the road at Whittier, and Martavius Holiday is going to need to be a part of today's game plan to get a W at home here at Ortmeyer Stadium.
You've heard the term thunder and lightning running backs. They are lightning and lightning. They're both fast, both physical. They're just great duo out of the backfield.
Look for Holiday and Gonzalez today. And it will also need to be Arturo Herrera, who steps up big alongside Grayson Klein, checking back into the lineup today for the Leopards at wideout.
Yeah, Josh Evans, #1 receiver, Nate Sagasumi, is hurt today. And so what we're going to have to see is if the freshman can stand up and be able to do something with his opportunity.
It's going to be young guys needing to step up, but it's going to need to be Grayson Klein coming back into the lineup today to keep this receiving core under control and keep the ball moving downfield.
Yeah, we're not a really big passing offense, but what we need to do is Laverne needs to be able to throw the ball vertical and keep drives alive.
You look at that, but you've also got to regard Josh Evans in any breath when you talk about Laverne, because he is what they've got at the helm, 102 yards through the air, and he's a guy that they're going to need to throw the ball well with here today if they want to get a W.
We keep talking about throwing the ball, but what we don't give Josh enough credit for is that he can keep plays alive with his feet, so look for that today.
Now we look at defense. Connor Johnson, a 3-year starter, a guy who's seen play for 4 years, and ever since his freshman year, he has been a part of the continuity of this defense. 38 tackles on the year, and alongside Austin Brown's disrupting things in the middle, #1 in SCIAC with sacks. These guys are going to have to carry the load big today, Zach.
I love Austin Brown, #1 player in this conference. He's all conference player. I mean, like you said, 4.5 sacks versus SCIAC. Redlands needs to watch out for him. Connor Kennedy, if we're going to start talking about Redlands now, is also one of Redlands' running backs. He is great running the ball, 3rd in SCIAC, 91 yards per game, 2 touchdowns. Look for him today.
You talk about a good confidant to that of Levi Plant. This is the guy that we're talking about. He's going to be big today. And now Levi Plant.
Levi Plant tied with James Gonzalez for a number of touchdowns in SCIAC. Just a great runner as well as passer. Blake Roy, talk about receivers, 21 receptions, 245 yards. Look for him to be active and going in this game.
Levi Plant's going to love those receivers out on the flank to help his running back crew, and it's going to be Steve Van Grau who's going to be a part of the mix as well.
Yes, look for those two to have a huge impact today.
Now as we look to get started here, as kickoff approaches us here, Levi Plant's also going to get it done on the ground as you see much of a dual threat quarterback for that of Redlands. They have a couple of guys on defense as well who are going to disrupt play for that of Josh Evans, that being Nick Castro and Chad Virgil. We're getting set for kickoff here. Zach, it's a hot one. What can you expect from both of these teams in terms of conditioning today in 90-degree weather?
physical play and running the ball. You're going to see both offensive lines, you're going to see both defensive lines just going at it in the trenches. I'm looking for a physical one today.
Zachary Nikolai inside the booth here alongside myself, Hal Hargrave. It's going to be a fun one here on LVTV3, Laverne Community Television. We appreciate those back inside the truck bringing today's game to life. And we're getting set for kickoff. Mike Maynard, 31 years in the biz here as head coach of the Redlands Bulldogs. Going to be fighting against that of head coach Christopher Creek of the Laverne Leopards. Kickoff here at Ortmeyer Stadium. Let's get things rolling here on LVTV3, Laverne Community Television. You can see the beautiful offset San Bernardino foothills. They're just north of the stadium, and we're getting set for kick. We're gonna go 1:04 local time at kickoff. Coach Creek today, he had a lot of positive things coming off the win last week at Whittier. He looks for this team to maintain some good poise and confidence after they can see what a positive game plan can do if you play for 60 minutes. Let's see if they can put it together. Laverne and Coach Creek set to receive. This one taken back deep around the goal line for Laverne. A good return, and they get out past the 20, and that's where it will start for Josh Evans in this Laverne offense.
Let's see how they start out. They have to set the tone early by running the ball in between the tackles. They have to see who's more physical today.
Josh Evans gonna need to carry the load today for this Laverne team. He'll be back behind center, the dual threat guy. The Laverne everything to this team. He's gonna have to generate some plays with his feet, keep plays alive, and keep Laverne in a good way on third down. Out of the shotgun, Evans with the play action. They go out to the flank, and a quick strike there. That is Grayson Allen.
A quick pitch and catch. I mean, the guy's playing off. Just give a nice little flash, let the linebackers come in and throw a nice dart.
Zach, and how good does that feel for Josh Evans? He said, Hal, I want to throw more this week. I've told Creek I'm ready to go. He gets Grayson Allen back. He's a junior on this team. He's going to need to help carry this Laverne load out on the wide out today.
It's a lot easier for a quarterback when you run the ball so efficient that you can set up play action and be able to throw right behind guys.
They run a draw. They run it to the right. Go forward for a couple of yards. There's going to be about 2nd and 8 to go here, backed up in Laverne territory. On the carry, it was Joe Bennett. Joe Bennett on the tackle for Redlands. So Laverne chipping away there on first down. They're going to run the ball. Coach Creek saying they want to play the game of clock possession today. Josh Evans there with the pass off to the running back. They move it to the left for a yard, and now it's going to be 3rd and long for this Leopards team. Look for Josh Evans possibly on play action here. Zach, what do you do?
Well, right now you got to throw the ball, but what they're trying to do is they're trying to set a tone, as I was saying earlier. You keep running the ball, one's bound to break, so they're setting stuff up for the future right now. But look for a pass.
This Redlands team, up until last week where they gave up over 150 on the ground to CMS, was 50 yards a game in rushing defense. They can stop the run. Laverne's going to go after him, but with Josh Evans taking shots downfield to open it up, they're hoping that Laverne can get those good 3 to 4 yard pushes. Here, turnover on downs on the first drive of the game. They'll be punting, but Laverne showing some signs of life early, and you can tell they're going to try to pound the ball between the tackles.
Oh, definitely. That pass right there looked a little miscommunication between receiver and quarterback. Hopefully they'll fix that up on the sideline.
Back to receive here for Redlands is David Molina, the wide receiver. And kick return specialist. Laverne gonna need to use their special teams to change the field of play today. And picking it up off the bounce is Molina. He fights forward for about 3 yards, but getting it well down into Redlands territory. Redlands will start on their own 33, and it will be Levi Plant who goes out onto the field to get this Redlands Bulldogs offense rolling.
You know, the senior comes out here. He's a great guy. I talked to him a little bit, but he's going to command this offense, and he's going to do a great job today.
Levi Plant with a well-balanced offense, and he can use his legs as well. He's got over 230 yards on the ground on the season with 5 TDs. He goes to the draw, and they're going to run it between the tackles and fight forward for a 4-yard gain.
Yeah, they're going to run it up the middle because they don't want to give Austin Brown a chance to even have to make a tackle.
Austin Brown with the tackle here on the opening play of the game. This is a guy that clogs holes. He gets north and south, 4.5 sacks on the season, 12 tackles for a loss. Austin Brown has got to control the tempo in terms of that front line of defense for Laverne here today. Levi Plant back in the shotgun. Laverne getting north and south for the sack. And coming in, it's number 92 with the sack for Laverne.
Good coverage by Laverne right there, but it looked like Levi just put his head down. He looked at the rush, didn't try to look past him.
Laverne causing some disruption early, and Coach Creek coming after the quarterback, number 92, Kevin Cabrera, with the sack. 3rd and 12 for the Redlands Bulldogs. Look for Plant to throw here out of the shotgun. Plant drops back on the 3-step drop. Across the middle, caught for the first down. Give him the first and a nice snag. That is number 84, Jacob Huff, the sophomore, across the middle for the first.
Laverne had 2 safeties on that play, and when you have 2 safeties, that leaves the middle of the field wide open, which Redlands did on that play.
Great field vision there by Plant. Spotted the sophomore on the drag route across the middle of the field. First down, they're on the move at midfield. Working to the quicker offense now. Plant on the keeper, off the edge, and a good job by Laverne holding the edge and pushing him back to center. And we've talked about that. You've got guys like Connor Johnson in the middle of the field. You funnel him back to the middle, Laverne's going to make some plays.
I know defensive coordinators love when quarterbacks hold the ball when they run the ball because they want to be able to get as much hits on him as possible. So look for Laverne to try to capitalize on that.
Hurry up again here, 8 on first down. Plant with another keeper. He's going to run it up the middle, close to a first down. Redlands Bulldogs now in Laverne territory around the 43-yard line of Laverne.
Like I was saying earlier, how defensive coordinators love when quarterbacks run the ball. They ran a speed option right there, Hale. And so what happens when you do that is Laverne had their corner go straight to the pitch man. That way the quarterback will keep it.
That's a good play by the cornerback to roll up and cover that guy. That's where you expect guys like Austin Browning on the tackle to come swarming towards the ball on the weak side for that cutback to make the play. And again, Austin Brown, another big tackle for Laverne.
Great player, man.
Austin Brown, this guy has a way to get north and south. He gets up between the guards, and he finds his way to the ball carrier and now makes it 2nd and 11 for the Redlands Bulldogs. Plant in the shotgun, back to pass, shovel pass up forward between the tackles. That is the running back, number 8 on the play, Connor Kennedy. We talked about him earlier in the broadcast.
Yeah, quick little shovel pass up there. Some see that as a type of screen. I see it more as a power run.
The replay here as you check out Connor Kennedy getting up between the tackles. Kennedy, a guy that this Bulldogs team is gonna lean on heavily. Plant off the edge here again to Molina. Molina, a guy, he'll do it at wideout, he'll do it in punt return, and he does it here on the carry off the edge, but a good job by Laverne, and their DBs rolling up to get an easy stop, now 2nd and 11 for the Dogs.
The big thing that defenses talk about is how many guys can they get going to the ball, and right there, everyone on Laverne's defense seemed to be pursuing the ball. Great time.
43-20 win on the road last week at Whittier, and a lot of positive takeaways for Coach Creek and this defense, albeit a bottom feeder team in that of Whittier, but nonetheless a win is a win, and it reinstilled some confidence in this Laverne team that if they stick to what they do best and what they're told to do and do their job, good things will happen. Plant, shotgun, moves to his left, speed option on the keeper, gets upfield for about 3 yards before the tackle's made.
On that one, no one came out to the pitch, man. I'm really shocked that he kept that one.
Shocked that he kept it, but you're also seeing the resiliency of that of Plant. This guy's going to keep it on the keeper there on the option throughout today. Expect for Connor Johnson to put some licks on this dude. Plant's got to stay resilient out there and keep his body alive and healthy so he can get into the 4th quarter of this game.
Athletes love to make plays.
Seen much of that out of Baker Mayfield, the starter now of the Browns. TCU against Oklahoma in today's early action in NCAA Division I college football, and another strike downfield for Molina. They got the ball down within the 7-yard line now after the fade route caught by Molina down the right sideline. Molina with 2 catches today, a punt return, and he's involved with this offense early. Again, out of the shotgun, they go to the hurry up. 1 back offset to Plant's left. Audible change here by Plant. Inside the goal line, they're inside the 5 now. Plant moving to his right. He's got wheels, he's got a touchdown. Redlands 6-0.
So the unspoken thing about the no-huddle offense is that gives the defense no time to really change their personnel. So when you go up to the line and you get in the red zone like that and you don't allow them to make those switches to get heavier in the box, that's when easy touchdowns like that happen.
And in terms of personnel and scheming, Laverne's going to run a 4-3, they're going to run a 4-2, and they're going to even run their dime package today with 6 DBs. Right there, you had an opportunity in the goal line set to run a 4-3, but you weren't able to hold the edge and keep Plant funneling in towards the tackles. What does he do? He finds the edge, uses the legs, finds 6. They find an extra point, 7-0 Redlands.
Great job by that right tackle to get out in front of him.
Redlands here up 7-0 on a hot one at Ortmeyer Stadium. Sizable stands, or rather fans in the stands for Laverne here today. Some travelers for the Redlands Bulldogs, and of course, the Redlands broadcast crew up behind us, backed up against the University of Laverne tents here on main campus at the University of Laverne, home to soccer fields, home to the football field, and here on main campus also the basketball and volleyball court behind us. West Campus, about a quarter mile from here, home to softball and baseball, an off-site virtue that they hope to grow over the next 10 years and take other sports to Campus West, some 54 acres that the University of Laverne owns over there, in due part to leadership of the 7-year president now in Devorah Lieberman. Here to kick off for the Redlands Bulldogs. For Plant, after his 6th rushing touchdown of the season, ranking at the top and surpassing that of James Gonzalez of the Leopards. The return there by the Leopards gets them out past the 10-yard line, and it'll be a long field of play if they want to see points for the Leopards.
Time on the field, 23.
Number 21 down for the Redlands Bulldogs. He was down on the coverage team for the Dogs. Number 21, Kikoa Wilcombe, the freshman linebacker coming out of Mount Carmel High School. Players taking a knee here on the Redlands side, and you look at this and you see a knee injury written all over this, whether it's good, bad, indifferent, serious or not. Nothing you ever want to see on the field of play. These guys work so hard to prepare for these 9 to 10 games during the regular season. You want to see them go out and give it their best each and every day.
Of course, he seems to be walking off under his own power for the most part. He has one teammate helping him out. Looks like it'll just be a bruised knee.
You hope that 21 sees the field of play again here for Redlands today. Nonetheless, it's going to be a battle out there, and Josh Evans is right in the thick of it. They sent Evans back out for the Leopards.
He ended up not walking off under his own power.
Coming over to the training tables, we'll try to keep you updated on the status of 21 for Redlands as we head into the latter part of this game. Evans, quarterback, shotgun. They move tight end over to the left. Strong left for Evans. The motion comes across. Evans, RPO, sacked.
The way that play was setting up, it looked like it was going to end up being a quarterback draw, but with that quick pressure, we're never going to find out.
Elias Hackney, the D lineman, the junior out of Santa Monica Catholic High School, swarming to the ball. Josh Evans backed up for a 5-yard loss. 2nd and 15 for the Leopards, and this puts them into a position where they can't run the clock down. They can't run the ball. They've got to take shots downfield, and it's going to lie in the hands of Josh Evans to do so.
More importantly, you have to take care of the football in these situations.
Certainly backed up into your own zone. Laverne is. Evans back to pass. Handing the ball off, and again, Laverne making a commitment to that run, but they virtually get nowhere And it is that Redlands Bulldogs defensive line swarming to it. It is Jake Walters, the defensive back, who rolls up and gets in on the action. They got guys coming from every which way to stop the run.
Like you stated earlier, before last week, they ranked 150, or they only allowed 50 rushing yards per game. So we're going to see how that handles today.
150 given up on the ground to CMS and a different animal. Laverne, they average 228 on the ground, and they're going to try to run the rock today. They're going to try to play the game of clock possession and field possession, but when you do it against a Mike Maynard defense, good luck. 3rd and long. Josh Evans out of the gun. He bootlegs out to the right. Broken play. Evans has got wheels. Evans is close to a first down.
Yeah, making something out of nothing. They blitzed up the middle. Nothing you can do. Got to roll out.
First down, Josh Evans. This guy is unbelievable. He might be a little reminiscent of a guy that we saw a couple years ago at Texas A&M, if you know who I'm talking about.
Oh, Johnny Football. Yes, yes, yes.
Small stature guy. Dude's got wheels. Dude's got an arm. Josh Evans, the second coming of Johnny Football here. Ortmeyer Stadium. Evans out of the gun. Offset to his right, the running back. Receivers to his left. Running back draw up the middle, fighting forward for 2 yards. 2nd and 8.
There seemed to be a hole up the middle, but he just didn't really bounce to it.
Solomon Iosefa on the play, coming out of Norte Vista High School in Riverside, California. 2nd and 8 for the Dogs. On defense, this Laverne offense looking to get chunks on these early downs to put Josh Evans in a good way on 3rd. Evans again out of the shotgun. Audible at the line of scrimmage. He's going to move protection to his left. Single running back in the backfield. They motion across to the left. 2 wideouts to the left. They're going to throw out to the wideout and see if he can get north and south. Minimal yardage, if that. Evans completed on the strike, but with no yardage, minimal yardage rather, 3rd and long for the Leopards.
For those quick screens, you want to hit them before they hit the sideline, and he seemed to take too much time on that play fake.
It almost looked like Evans was waiting to see if that DB was going to commit to the underneath receiver there on the motion, but he stays with the receiver coming out to make the stock block, because if the receiver got loose, you saw Evans' eyes go upfield. Okay, I'm going to dump it over the top. He ends up dumping it down low, but that DB playing it just right. Minimal yardage made on the play, 3rd and long. Evans with the pass, broken up. This Leopards team going to kick back up into their own zone yet again. Redlands playing sound on defense.
Like we stated earlier, it is going to be difficult for them to be passing the ball without their number 1 wideout, Nathan Sagasumi. But you have to be able to next man up, step up.
Intended target, the freshman Arturo Herrera. We talked about this guy in pregame. He's got to step up and make some big catches, and he's got to run good routes. Bulldogs players running off the field. I'm hot, they're saying. You're right, it's hot, 90 degrees, cooking here in Southern California. It's October 20th and 90 degrees. It must be California.
I thought it was fall.
Yeah, a lot of us did, even as early as last week. Some nice cooling off weather in the evening. They're having none of that anymore. Weak punt, bounces back. Coverage on the play for Laverne, nearly at midfield. And it'll be Levi Plant with the short field to lead this Bulldogs team down and into field goal range. Or down inside the goal line yet again.
There have been few negative plays for this Redlands offense.
And when you can reduce that against a guy like Austin Brown, among others on this Laverne defensive line, it puts you in a good way. Interesting attempted handoff there. The motioned receiver coming across on the fly give. Ran into Levi Plant. Plant on the keeper. Barely gets back to the line of scrimmage of that.
It looks like Laverne practiced that play at practice, because what happened when he motioned over, that corner didn't bump over. He came straight for the quarterback.
And it was Trinell Bowden who rolled up and made the tackle from the cornerback position for Laverne. These are guys that are going to have to come up and make huge plays in coverage there. Short pass, dumped off to the right, fights forward for about 3 yards. David Molina again, third catch of the game, and moving forward again for about 6 yards on the catch. Molina and the Dogs in 3rd and short. Raymond Menorez, the cornerback, the sophomore coming out of Charter Oak High School, your boy. So we got Zachary Nikolai, the Charter Oak native himself, playing alongside the gentleman who just ran off the field for his helmet coming off. 3rd and short, 3rd and 3 for Levi Plant. He runs to his right, speed pitch, getting upfield. First down for the Dogs. Laverne's got to be quicker to the edge.
If you run the same play enough, people are going to start coming at you, and you set it up for another play.
Connor Kennedy again off the edge, and you can really see the poise of Levi Plant. They entrust this senior with that speed option, and that is no easy play with defensive backs and cornerbacks rolling up to you, attempting to make a tackle and having the peace of mind to make a proper pitch out to your running back. He's done it flawlessly here 3 times early on. Plant, back to pass, he can do it all. Across the middle, he's got a guy, he's got a touchdown. If not, Blake Roy, among others. This Redlands Bulldogs team, they can strike quick, and they've done it twice here with 2:39 left in the first. Plant to Roy, touchdown, 13-0 Dogs.
What a great throw on the seam. You can tell the senior had his composure on that throw.
And for the extra point.
And it's good.
Points up and good, 14-0 now your score. So it was Nathan Hirely, the kicker coming out of Redondo Union High School, the senior, getting into the midst of the action. 14-0 Dogs, and the Leopards having no answer on offense or defense thus far. You can see the replay here. Good poise by Plant across the middle again, and they have decimated those safeties over the top on 2 big plays here early on.
That is a veteran throw from a senior quarterback. What happens when he's one high is they had 2 seams going, and when as a quarterback you're able to look at one seam and that safety follows your eyes and you just throw it the other side.
It's a great job by Plant, just looking off that safety to the other side. Draws him just far enough to say, okay, I'm gonna dump it over to the other side. Absolute dime touchdown all day.
I see more Johnny football on Plant than I do Evans.
Here early on, most certainly nearly offsides on the kickoff for the Dogs, but back deep through the end zone, and it will be a touchdown back for the Laverne Leopards. And they'll move it out some 25 yards to get rolling with Josh Evans in this Laverne offense.
Let's see if they start throwing the ball or if they stick to their game plan of running it.
Audible noise of the Laverne band here at Ortmeyer Stadium. It was just a couple weeks ago when Occidental was in the house for Laverne's homecoming. Back on October 6th. It's a great day of sights, sounds, people, alumni, you name it. Laverne falling short on their homecoming game against Occidental. But still nonetheless to connect with old friends. Evans fighting forward as you see your band there. 2nd and 7 for Evans in this Laverne offense.
Ryan Place making the tackle.
Evans out of the shotgun. Handed off to the running back, and a nice run up the middle as a helmet comes off of a Bulldogs player. In on the tackle, it was number 4, Chad Virgil. He'll have to come off for a play, but a big stop for Virgil and the Dogs, and now we're gonna go 3rd and 1, Zach.
It's gonna be a test of manhood right here. They're gonna run the ball again up the middle, and they're just gonna see who is the tougher line.
How is Laverne going to manage the trenches? The Dogs say we are going to manage as helmet for number 67 comes off, but it's Elias Hackney again in on the tackle. Laverne backed up again. It's going to be 4th and short. Is Coach Creek going to go for it? At this point, you'd think he'd punt. Most certainly as Joseph Whitmer comes off, and it's the punt team that comes out.
Definitely. This is when coaches make their money. If they don't make money for their first down plays or second down plays, it is the third down plays, fourth down plays, and red zone. It's the tough decisions that make you money.
Certainly an interesting perspective there. But now on 4th down with a $1:20 left here in the first quarter, a timeout taken. And a quick breather for both sides on this hot day in Southern California. And if you're Laverne, obviously Coach Creek saying earlier, we want to play time of possession. And rightfully so. When you see what Levi Plant can do out on the field, who wouldn't want to play it that way?
Definitely. You do not want to give a player like Levi Plant the ball. You don't want to give him as much time as he has had to be able to do the things he has done so far.
So, Zach, how do you minimize this in terms of giving him minimal time? Do you move to a cover 4? Do you stay with cover 2 man? You have the type of personnel to do that against this Redlands Bulldogs team.
Levi keeps getting outside of the pocket, so to reduce that, I'd have my ends have outside containment, and I'd try to keep everything inside the pocket. I would try to prove that he is a pocket quarterback and make plays with his arm instead of his feet.
Great punt there by the kicker. Over a 50-yard punt, backs them up to the 24-yard line as it was Molina on the return. The Bulldogs will start their field of play backed up onto their side of the field. 76 yards to go for Plant and the Bulldogs as they trot out onto the field. And actually quarterback change here. Now we got number 7 out on the field for the Redlands Bulldogs. It is Nathan Martinez, the sophomore coming out of Yucaipa High School.
Nathan Martinez at quarterback for the Bulldogs.
So different look for the Bulldogs here, and no rhyme or reason why Plant's not out there. But on the first carry, it's Kai Thompson who's stuffed at the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 10 for the Dogs.
Like you said, no rhyme or reason. I'm just trying to look for Levi right now to see if there's any injury or if he's still on the field.
Plant looked good after that last throw. He's 5 of 5 for 84 yards and a touchdown on the day. But still, they opt to go to the second quarterback. Martinez back in the backfield to throw. He throws the wide receiver screen over to the left. Good big play for a first down for the Dogs. Quick strikes, and at this point, it looks like they can get it done with a multiple quarterback system.
Yeah, he's throwing darts. It's easier when you give him a one-person read. And right now, they seem to be calling him short. It's going to be 3rd and 1.
Plant over here by the offensive coordinator, looking like he's fine and ready to go. But when you're the Bulldogs and you can give a 2-look quarterback, this Laverne team going to be put back on their heels not knowing what to do. When you go the whole week and you plan for a certain style and a certain guy, and they have the means to flip-flop and stay efficient, that makes it awfully tough as a Laverne defense to acclimate.
Most definitely, because for me to game plan against Levi, I would, like I said earlier, I'd maintain the edges. I'd try to make him a pocket passer. Number 7 right now seems to be just what I'm trying to stop, a pocket passer.
It was 3rd and 1. Now it's 3rd and 6 after the offensive lineman Andres Garcia has a false start. Timeout taken here, or rather end of the first quarter, so by virtue of the clock, a breather going to be taken for both these teams. But a big 3rd down play for Laverne. If they can get this Bulldogs team off the field and force a punt, get a little momentum going back their way, that could be big. We're going to step aside here at the end of quarter number 1. 14-0 your score. The Bulldogs have the lead. You're watching SCIAC football on LVTV3, Laverne Community Television.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise and be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
La palabra cáncer.
Back here at Art Meyer Stadium, 14-0 as we start the second quarter, and a pivotal third down play coming up for you. 3rd and 6 coming up for the Bulldogs. They went to a different quarterback in the backfield. It is Martinez in the backfield for the Dogs as Plant on the sidelines appears to be uninjured, just a multiple looks that they're able to throw at the Leopards. 3rd and 6. The Leopards looking here. They've got 6 DBs right now. So they're looking for a pass here on 3rd and 6, and we'll see the running ability, I'm sure, of Martinez on this play.
Oh, definitely. We're going to see the kind of athlete he is right now.
Redlands with 30 yards on the ground on 11 carries in the first. They're 6 of 6 through the air for 93 yards, and Blake Roy has carried the load through the air with 33 yards and a touch.
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier.
Martinez out to the close side. Catch close to the first down marker. Waiting for the signal, first down. Bulldogs right at that marker, and a great job by Jacob Huff to get north and south and know where that first down barrier is. He gets past that first down marker, able to get the first, and the Bulldogs keep rolling.
You see a lot of those outbreaking routes in high school, college, football, all across.
Getting north and south there is the defensive line of the Leopards. Martinez sacked, and in on the play, Austin Brown, among others.
He is a game changer. That's how you know you're all conference.
And now you look to capitalize on this with Brown coming off the field on 2nd and 12. So really a run stopper Brown is, but with 4.5 sacks, he's also a guy that can do work in the passing defense game too. But here, 2nd and 12, we'll see if Redlands tries to chip off a few or if they opt to go the air. Martinez drops back to pass through the air. Trying to go on the out route there, and in on the defense was number 21 for the Leopards. It was Darren Hooks on the defense of that of Blake Roy. And it's Darren Hooks is a guy who will play a lot of man coverage for this Laverne team. He's a veteran in regards to this Laverne defense.
Yeah, he had a great defensive possession right there, but Jordan Peavy also came up underneath that throw. I thought he was going to pick it off.
Peavy and Hooks both in on the play, and nearly a pick for Laverne against Martinez, and the first incompletion of the game for Redlands. 7 of 8. They are through the air. Martinez again back to pass across the middle. He had a catch, but drops it, but in to make a lick on Noah McFadden. That was number 29, Jonathan John, with a nice lick, or rather Gabriel Lopez in to make the pass disruption.
Great throw, almost a great catch. I always tell my kids that it feels better getting hit when you catch the ball.
Certainly does. But for Redlands, the first time they're going to punt in 3 possessions here today. So Redlands set back to punt and back to receive for the Leopards. It looks like this is number 8 for the Leopards. Amir Bishop, the sophomore coming out of Saugus High School, a Southern California football powerhouse.
Going to be down around the 24 on the left hash.
24 on the left hash is where Laverne will get rolling, 76 yards. So they're home free, looking for some points, is this offense of Laverne. And again, trotting back out onto the field. See Josh Evans.
I'd like to see Josh Evans get in a rhythm right now. I'd like to see some hitches, some slants, just some quick completions that get him going.
Some confidence is really what he needs, and when you give short dump passes like that and even check downs, makes you feel good as a quarterback. The other team has got to honor that in terms of their linebackers out in the flats. Could open up the running game for them. They run left, fight forward for a few yards. 2nd and 7 for the Leopards. And on the tackle, Troy Kay.
It's that West Coast mindset. It's 3-4 yards of pass. If I do that 3 times, that's a first down.
You like to think simple mindset, but against this Redlands Bulldogs team who's so stout on defense, that's still hard to come by. Evans, shotgun, 2nd and 6. 3 receivers to his right. He's got trips, running back shifted to his left for protection. On the give, running back up the middle, breaks free, first down, a nice 7-yard run for Martavius Holiday, a guy we talked about that needs to play big for Laverne today.
The thing that's awesome about both of Laverne's running backs is they both have great balance and they both never stop their feet. And those are two great things to look for in a running back at any level.
You talk about Holiday, he had the poise there to get wide with his stance coming through the hole. When you widen your foot base, gives you that balance that you're talking about to absorb hits from side to side. Holiday gets wide with his feet, stays skinny with the upper body, north and south, 7 yards, first down. Next play, Holiday again off the edge, using the wheels. He can go through the tackles, he can go off the edge for 6.
Also, when you get wide like you were speaking about last play, it also gives you that vision. And that's what he had right there. When he turned the corner, he was looking for a cutback lane.
Had vision, but so did Jaden Michaels as he rolls up from the defensive back position to make the stop. Gonzalez checks in at running back. They got dual threats. They got lightning in the backfield, and they got Josh Evans at the helm. And they're going to slow down the offense now. This was something Coach Creek said. Pay attention today. Contrary to what we typically do with going to the hurry up, we're going to slow it down when we feel we got rhythm, and we're going to try to play clock possession. They're doing that here. They switch protection to the left with the tight end. They move the running backs to the right. Gonzalez on the cutback. Josh Evans with a nice block to seal the edge. Josh Evans giving you a bit of everything now.
That's a team player right there. Anytime you see your quarterback giving a block, coaches have a little bit of a heart attack, but players love it.
Josh Evans, just a fearless leader out there. Again, Jaden Michaels rolling up on back plays for tackles. 3rd and 2, Josh Evans with the seal block. Yes, that's the quarterback, Josh Evans. Gonzalez with the carry on the last play. He was moving to his left and gonna run through that A gap. It was crunched. He pops it back to the right on the cutback. Had a running lane off the edge using those wheels. Gonzalez now trying to run beneath the tackles. He finds the C gap, fights upfield, and this is going to be close to a first. That's a first down. Move the chains.
Great coaching by Redlands. They tried, Laverne's offense tried to do a hard count right there, which you act like you're going to snap it, and no one does. Look at the poise of the defense. Usually you get at least one guy to jump. Great job by Redlands.
The junior Elias Hackney in on the tackle. Talked about that hard count, and none other than Aaron Rodgers, who is better than anybody. Whether you like him or not, the dude has got it going on the hard count. Him, Peyton Manning, there's a couple that you can say, yeah, they're good. Saw Aaron Rodgers on Monday night fighting back another fourth quarter deficit, and they get it done at home against the San Francisco 49ers in crunch time. The ball carrier there, Holiday, getting upfield for 4 yards. Nice chunk on first down. Jaden Michaels, this dude is on fire, and he's finding the ball for Redlands.
Bill Bennett making the tackle. Gain of about 4.
2nd and 6, 10:05 left here in the second quarter. Laverne rolling now with some tempo down the field. They're down 14-0 here on LVTV3. Laverne Community Television, Zachary Nikolai alongside Hal Hargrave here for LVTV3. Evans still in the shotgun. Handoff here. Swarmed at the line of scrimmage by 3 defensemen on the defensive line for the Bulldogs. And no gain on the play. So it was Elias Hackney, the defensive lineman, coming up and making the stop.
Coming into a passing situation, but what I love about Redlands' defense right now is, I don't know if you saw it on the last possession, but the corners are playing a little bit of games. They're starting out in press coverage, and once they see that Josh stops looking at him, they start to bail.
These are important nuances of the game. Obviously, as spectators, our minds and our eyes are attuned to where the ball's at. But when you can get unique perspective of what's going on away from the ball, gives you appreciation for what Josh Evans is seeing, what he's doing, and when he makes passes like that for first downs. Josh Evans on the move. The guy can run, he can roll, he can pass. Some might say he's Boobie Miles. We say he's Josh Evans.
And that's the danger of playing off in situations like this. Yes, you don't want to give them any advantage of getting the first down, but also when you play that far off, they're able to do any outbreaking routes or just stop there for the first down.
The freshman, Zach Garcia, with the catch on the play. Laverne moving the chains. Mind you, for those tuning in to Zach Garcia's, this one's thrown deep. Incomplete. First career catch for Zach Garcia as a freshman. Congrats, young kid.
Congratulations from Zach to Zach.
intended for Kevin Stark. Incomplete.
Pass intended on the deep fade route there to a Leopard. Evans with the arm overthrows, so 2nd and 10 for the Leopards. It's the freshman Kevin Stark coming out of Bonita High School. You want to talk about local, that's as local as it gets in the city of Laverne.
Right down
Evans
the street.
on the roll, dumping it over the top. A dime for Evans on the first down. What a throw, you just got mossed.
Nice little push off, wasn't called, but you're able to play the ball, especially with the defender's hand in your face.
And you see what Grayson Klein can do as a veteran wide receiver. He doesn't need separation. He just needs to go over the top. You just need to give him a chance if you're Josh Evans. That's what he comes down with. Grayson Klein, big catch. He's back today. The Leopards are rolling. They're inside the 20, and they're looking for points here. The Leopards down 14-0 here with 8:05 left in the second. Zach, you got to like what you see there if you're Josh Evans, giving you some confidence to throw downfield.
I love that, and I love what the coaching staff decided to do. They decided to go 12 personnel, bringing in 2 tight ends, making the box heavier, giving him an easier read on the outside.
And go figure, you make the box heavier, you give him more time. He finds a guy with a mismatch out there on the flanks, and it's Grayson Klein. We've seen 3 freshmen in pivotal plays here today for Laverne, but Klein, the veteran guy, this is a guy that knows how to get north and south, he knows how to go up and get the ball, and he comes down with a big play. Laverne spreading the field now. They're going to that balance attack that we talked about now here out of the timeout.
Especially when you're able to start becoming balanced, that's when you aren't as predictable, and that's when you're able to start getting more positive plays.
And Josh Evans loving this ability to start throwing here, I'm sure, on this drive. Josh Evans had an opportunity to talk to early this week, and by all means, loves the play calling of OC Rich Warsaw, but for him, he knows what he's good at and what he's capable of too. And in no way a cocky way, Josh Evans has a confidence about him that he's willing to undertake that responsibility, and he's showing it right here what he can do when he has the ball in his hands.
If you ever want to be a good quarterback, you have to have a lot of confidence. It may come off as cocky sometimes, but you have to believe in what you can do, what your team can do, and that's how you become a winner.
And at this level of play, we call that buy-in. And that's what Coach Creek is looking for. Culture outweighs scheme is, of course, a mantra they live by here. They believe that culture is everything, and when you buy into the culture, the scheme is going to follow. Here on the pitch off to the left, it's Gonzalez trying to use those wheels to catch the edge, and he's able to find minimal yardage. Redlands here down back inside the red zone playing stout on first down.
Yeah, their bread and butter is running the ball. I wouldn't look for them to be throwing the ball in the red zone until they have to.
Got Grayson Klein out by himself on the left. Evans swarmed at the line of scrimmage after the give to Gonzalez. So now they move it up inside the 10, up to the 8-yard line and fighting forward. Laverne just looking to chip away as it looks like they're going to be at about 3rd and 6 now as Joe Monroe, the defensive lineman out of Jay Sarah, in on the tackle. 7 minutes left here in the second. Big play for Laverne. They'd like 7, they'll take 3. Evans, shotgun. Evans, the give to Gonzalez. Fights up the middle, and he's going to be close to a first. First down for Gonzalez, and a nice job running through the A-gap there. No cutbacks, running north and south and playing between the tackles.
What you're able to do with the first down on the 3-yard line is you're, like we were saying earlier, unpredictable. You can go run the ball, you can pass the ball, you can go play action.
And they go run to Gonzalez, and he says, I know what this feels like. I had 3 touchdowns last week against Whittier. Let's add 1 more. Now him and Levi Plant again knotted up at 6 rushing touchdowns on the season. Gonzalez getting it done on the ground for the Leopards. They find 6. They're looking for 1 more to make this a 7-point deficit. They're looking for 14-7 here with 6:24 left in the second. So the kicker will run out now.
I know we're giving Gonzalez all the credit, but don't forget about the big boys up front. They made a great push on that last play.
Good push, and looking like he's getting some gaps to run through now. No cutbacks necessary, just getting north and south. And now back to kick will be the kicker, number 96 for Laverne. Diego Garcia with the kick. It's up and good. 14-7 your score. 6:24 left here in the second quarter. We'll see if we'll see Plant
6:24 left in the first
coming
half.
out, or we'll see Martinez for Redlands. 7-point deficit now. What did you like out of Laverne on the drive?
They were balanced. I didn't know what they were going to run a lot of the times, but Josh Evans was able to keep things alive with his feet, with his arm, and he looked professional.
Diego Garcia to kick off.
We see a replay of the kick on that. I saw Levi and backup sophomore warming up on the sideline during that drive.
See who Redlands opts to go with here as they come out for this next drive here in the second quarter. Deep kick, fumbled on the return, so they're going to have to make something of it. Great coverage by the Laverne coverage team, and it looks like they're backed up within their own 15.
You get a stop on defense, you go and score on offense, get a big hit on kickoff return. Laverne seems to have all the momentum rolling right now.
And this is exactly what Coach Creek was talking about earlier today in conversation. He was saying once we get to that point today where we feel momentum going our way, we're going to have that buy-in again that we had last week against Whittier. When we do our job and things start rolling, we believe we can hang with teams like Redlands at the top of the conference, who has played well with Pomona Pitzer, who's right there in the thick of things as well. Nathan Martinez, the quarterback again, Plant on the sidelines. Martinez and the Redlands Bulldogs stopped on first down at the line of scrimmage, 2nd and long.
As of right now, it seems they're going to go 2 drives and 2 drives.
Connor Kennedy on the carry, stopped right at the line of scrimmage, maybe fought forward for a yard. 5:58 left. And again, Austin Brown in on the tackle. That name is just music to many Leopards' ears at this point.
Guy's a game changer.
Martinez drops back, rolls to his right. He's going to throw on the run. Good coverage downfield, some physical play. As it was attempted to go to Trey Gevers, but nice coverage by the DB on the play for Laverne.
Good defense up front, because if they didn't push him out of the pocket, he had a wide open receiver in the middle of the field.
Raymond Moranez in on the defense there, and well overthrown of the receiver, but it looked like there was some physicality downfield. Good no call by the refs, as it was physicality both ways. 2nd and long, or rather 3rd and long for Martinez. Across the middle, he's got a guy. Big tackles, big catch, first down Dogs. Blake Roy, the tight end.
Seems the Bulldogs saw what I saw last play. Middle of the field wide open for him.
And how do you end up getting wide open coverage like that, Zach, when the wide open part of the field is right across the middle?
You have 2 safeties up top, so what that does is that it eliminates you from going sideline to sideline. You have to go up the middle. And so in order to stop that, you're going to have to move only 1 safety in the middle of the field, which it looks like they have.
Pass right through the hands of the intended receiver, Chad Virgil. Or rather, Trey Gevers, I apologize. So it was Gevers on the attempted reception. Again, 2nd and 10 for Martinez.
Last time Laverne was 1 high, the Bulldogs seem to attack the seams. Look for that same play here.
5 minutes left here in the second quarter. 14-7 your score. Martinez, 2nd and long. And the Leopards play defense very well off the edge, as it's Martinez on the keeper. A good job by the Leopards defense, swarming to the left and holding the edge. Martinez for minimal gain. It's going to be 3rd and 7.
We talk about talent, we talk about speed. What doesn't get enough credit is effort, and everyone on this defense seems to be given 100% effort to the ball.
Some coaches refer to it as amping out. Swarming to the ball, regardless if it's away from you or not, you go until the play is over. You never know when that ball's going to pop loose, when there's going to be a cutback, a lateral. Make sure you're in a position to make a play around the ball.
You always hear that old saying, play until the whistle blows.
It couldn't be more true. 14-7 timeout taken. 4:24 left here in the second. And Laverne on a big third down play coming up. This could be what Coach Creek and this defense has been looking for, to say, hey, we can play with these guys. This is what it feels like to be at the top. This Laverne team, mind you, just a couple of years ago with Billy Livingston at quarterback and Travis Sparks Jackson as their horse in the backfield, went 7-1 in conference play, got nipped up on the road at St. Thomas in the first round of playoffs. But this Leopards team that year was the first time in 19 years they beat this Redlands Bulldogs team, and they did it on the road.
I was back in 2015, if I'm not mistaken.
It was, you're absolutely right. So a few years ago now, Travis Sparks Jackson, talk about a guy that was all everything for Laverne. He holds all the rushing records for them. He is a leader. He's a guy that continues to come back and support these guys who are on the field. Travis Sparks Jackson, you want to talk about fire and lightning. Him and Dallas Parent. My gosh. Two guys that in one season both average over 6 yards per carry on the ground. In my eyes, and albeit you might think I'm biased, I thought they were the best two-man tandem in the backfield in the country.
Oh, would you tell me they averaged over 6 yards? Sounds like it.
It's going to be hard to beat. Run play here, but I've got to assume that was a hold on the Bulldogs, who look like Laverne will probably decline and force the punt. Holding on the offense, it was Christian Godina, the senior offensive lineman coming out of Ironwood High School. They decline. It's 4th and 6. Punt forced by the Leopards. Again, good job getting north and south by that D-line for the Leopards.
They're going to have a little under 4 minutes when they get the ball back. Look for them to go
Ethan Harrell
and everything.
And this is where they can play this game very well, because for majority of the game, they've slowed down the ball. But they know how to play fast-paced. This is typically a run-and-gun offense. They play on the run. So you know Josh Evans is going to like what he's going to have coming to him next. And now they're going to have to go down, make some plays. Forget clock management at this point. You go down and score.
I'm interested to see what personnel they come out in, because I really liked when they had 2 tight ends, but I'm not the one making the calls.
Braxton Taylor in on the receiving end of things for the Bulldogs. And we'll see if we get 12 personnel for the Leopards. They move protection to the left. Now they move it to the right. Tight end and fullback offset to the right, running back to the left. Good pull there by the fullback back the other way. They fight forward for a hard yard. On the carry, it was Holiday, or rather Marcellus Hunter.
What's really awesome about their personnel is that their fullback and their tight end are both tight ends, so they're able to switch from 21 personnel to 12 personnel anytime, and the defense is going to have to adjust to that.
When you have the versatility of a guy like Kevin Stark at fullback, can play tight end or fullback for you, and now running out of the backfield and was an attempted target potentially there if they went to the check down. Now they dump it over to the top, and it's Amir Bishop on the reception for Josh Evans. So you're seeing the versatility of these tight ends, running backs, and fullbacks for Laverne.
Well, that's the way the game's been going. A couple years ago, tight ends used to have to be just mainly blockers. Now we're looking for them to be more pass catchers. Same thing with running backs.
And you've seen it in the NFL too with guys like Jimmy Graham, but albeit when you have a guy like Gronk who can do both, get you one that can do both. I mean, these are guys that we talk about for long times to come.
Yes.
Holding call on the play by Trevor Goulet. So that was a big call there. Back in Laverne, way up. Shift protection to the right, running back to the left. Few receivers off to the left to the short side of the field. Evans looks right, looks left. Broken play, runs downfield. Give him 9 yards on the reception, and they fight their way back to the original line of scrimmage, 2nd and 11.
I'm interested that he rolled to the left. There was a hole for him to run through to the right side.
Grayson Klein, first, rather second catch of the afternoon. Third and 11. See if they go max protection here. They got trips to the right. You know Evans has got to be looking for something across the middle. Audible at the line of scrimmage. Evans sees something. He drops back to the shotgun. He has time. He's got a receiver downfield. He's got a catch downfield. Amir Bishop with 2 catches here in the past 4 plays. This one bigger than the previous, and that is a 30-yard strike for a first down in the Leopards.
Speed kills. He just ran right by him. Nothing to read, nothing special. He just used pure speed to get by him.
Jaden Michaels in on the coverage. Look at Bishop here. He says, see you later. Big catch on 3rd down. And Josh Evans having a knack for the miraculous here early on for the Leopards. We have only a $1:40 left here in the second quarter. 14-7, they're trailing. Evans likes rolling to his left. He's got a guy. He's got him close to the sidelines. He doesn't get out of bounds. Clock will keep rolling. In on the catch, Arturo Herrera.
This is where quarterbacks have to be extremely careful because we're in the red zone. There's only 1:20 left. We have to get guys going on the line. I have to take care of the ball. There's a lot going on for him.
$1:20, Evans going to the hurry up, out of the shotgun. They're going to the passing game now. Moves protection to the left. Short side of the field. Evans, 3 receivers to the wide side. Goes to the run. They move to the left. Elijah Washington, the freshman running back out of St. Francis High School on the carry. 52 seconds left. Tick, 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 tick. 1 timeout left for the Leopards. Washington, a guy that Coach Creek said you're going to see a lot of today. They're thinking highly of this freshman, and they're going to go 3 running backs deep today. Evans, not much time. 30 seconds left. Moving protection. You want to see him hurry up. He drops back to pass. Broken play. He rolls to his right. He's got time. Doesn't see anybody. He's going to run upfield. Runs out of bounds. Clock will stop with 22 seconds left. 2nd and 8.
Like I was saying earlier, great clock management by him, knowing the time, the down, got to get out of bounds.
Elias Hackney, they're running down Josh Evans until he's out of bounds. Good coverage by him to trail the play and force Evans to make a decision. 22 ticks left. Ball on the 21. Leopards looking for a quick strike. Right now, it would be a 38-yard field goal. Evans motions the receiver. It comes into the slot. Does Grayson Klein. They run out to the side. The fullback on the play, Kevin Stark, pushed close to the sidelines. Is he out of bounds? He stops the clock. But now you've got 3rd down. Timeout. And I wonder if he got pushed out, or rather tackled in bounds, because if you're Laverne, why do you call timeout?
He was tackled in bounds. And so what that does is now I have no more timeouts if I'm Laverne. I have 16 seconds left. What I'm looking for right now is I'm looking end zone or I'm looking sideline. That way I can get out of bounds. What happens is if you stay in bounds, you got to spike it. That way you can kill the clock and get into the position for a field goal.
Peter Riccolo in on the tackle there. And a really cool nostalgic plane flying overhead here. And that's coming from local Brackett Airport here in the city of Laverne, close to the LA County Fair. Largest fair actually in the country in terms of square footage.
Fun fact of the day, didn't know that.
Actually a very cool area right around Brackett Airport, LA County Fair, the Pomona Drag Strip, which Winter Nationals will be at here in just a couple of weeks for the NHRA. There's actually a national park here at Benelli Park that President Barack Obama came and gave his blessing on just a few years ago when he was in office.
That I do remember.
Landed at Brackett Airport. It was kind of a scene, to say the least, but just a really cool area nestled in about 25 miles east of Los Angeles. Here, 3rd and long. Josh Evans on the roll. He's got a guy at the marker, caught for the first down, gets out of bounds. You got 10 ticks left and you're right about the 10-yard line. Zach, what do you do here? You got maybe a play to take a shot at the end zone. Arturo Herrera on the catch.
Well, it's a first down now, so what I'd do is I'd take a shot at the end zone. If I don't get it, depending on how much time I have, I'm telling Josh, I'm telling him go straight to the end zone, throw it where my guy can get it or no one can get it. That way we can survive for a field goal.
That's right, and if you don't go at the end zone and they catch it, on the run, he throws it sideways, batted down, incomplete. How much time we got left? 3 seconds. Gotta imagine they're sending the field goal unit out. They are.
Yeah.
And you've got to throw to the end zone there, because if it gets batted down, the clock stops. you have a chance at a field goal. If they catch it and they're not in the end zone, clock rolls with no timeouts left. Here's your replay. Zach, what did you see on this play here?
I see a cardinal sin of quarterbacks. He's throwing across his body. You can't do that.
Just trying to extend the play, and that's really where Josh Evans can be really good, or it can be the demise of Josh Evans. He's so athletic. He's so good at extending plays. And for Josh Evans, you just don't want to make those crucial mistakes when you're down in point play. For Josh Evans, though, you'll take your odds on him every chance you get.
Oh, yeah. Ice in the kicker here.
Maybe an ice of the kicker. They had 2 timeouts left at Redlands. They opt to take one here with 3 seconds left. 14-7, your score. Will be Redlands who will receive in the second half. So they do got that going for them.
They've been getting pressure from the right side every PAT. I'm interested to see how that holds up right now.
Music getting loud here. Crowd starting to get more audible. And this Redlands sideline's getting a little more vocal. They know that this is big points. Tight game, rivalry, every point matters.
See that pressure.
.96 to kick here, Garcia. See if he can knot 3. Wind blowing left to right. He says, I'm nails. That's what he is. 14-10 your score. As we head into half, your score 14-10. The Redlands Bulldogs lead here at Ortmeyer Stadium, but a good way for Laverne to show some life there in the second quarter. Zach, what did you like that you saw?
From Laverne, you saw them coming around the second quarter. What I love from Josh is that he's taking care of the ball. He's not making bad mistakes, and he's doing exactly what this team's asking of him. As for the running backs, of course, they're doing awesome. For Redlands, they started off the game hot. They're doing what they set out to do. They were doing their game plan, and then they switched quarterbacks. I still don't understand if that was the game plan or if that's how they just operate, but nothing was coming around when they did that.
And if you're Redlands, what did you get away from in the second quarter that exposed you and allowed Laverne to fight back in for 10 points and make this a ball game?
The quarterback, I'm sticking by with their starting quarterback. You yank him out. Again, I don't understand why he was getting things going. He scored in his first 2 opening possessions. But just the way they're playing right now on offense, threw a pick on their last drive. Their defense is playing really sound, though.
Albeit, let's give credit to where credit's due. This Laverne D stepped up big on 3rd down in the second quarter, minimizing damage, getting off the field, putting the ball back in the hands of somebody that they need it most in Josh Evans. And when Josh Evans extends plays, this Laverne's team's in a good way.
Yes, both, like you said earlier, both defenses are playing great right now. You're getting all sorts of pressure, different stunts. It's a great game.
We'll see how this plays out as we head into the third quarter. But here at the half, your score, Redlands 14, Laverne 7. You've been watching SCIAC football here on LVTV3, Laverne Community Television.
Quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
Hey, look, it's those guys.
Let's do those pearly whites, man. Ooh, cute.
Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
Hey girl, what's your name? What's good? What's up? How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Sir, go and step out of the vehicle for me.
Yes, sir. See ya, buddy. Today, Sean's got a hearing. We'll see how it goes. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
I'm a firefighter.
A teacher.
I'm a farmer. I'm a barber.
A waitress. A mom.
We're all part of your community. Every day we move in and out of each other's busy lives.
It's easy to take for granted all the little moments that make up our everyday.
Some are good,
others not so much.
But that's life. It's when you experience a moment of uncertainty, something or someone's behavior that doesn't seem quite right.
These are the moments to take a pause.
Because if something doesn't feel right, it's probably not.
It's not about paranoia
or being afraid.
It's about standing up and protecting our communities.
One detail at a time.
Because a lot of little details can become a pattern.
We
trust our instincts.
Just like you should.
Because only you know what's not supposed to be in your everyday.
So protect your everyday.
If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
Suppose now sure she makes the sun see, makes me deep in the lost sea.
Serving the nation's poor and vulnerable regardless of faith, and advocating on their behalf, we are Catholic Charities.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
We roll back in here to second half. Your score, the Redlands Bulldogs 14, the Laverne Leopards 10. The Leopards fought back in the second quarter with 10 points of their own. It was Josh Evans leading the way, marching the team down the field and picking up 3 there at the end of the first with time, second quarter, first half time expiring. Josh Evans has been such a focal point for this Leopards team. Zachary Nikolai alongside me. Zach, what does the Leopards have to do here in the second half to ensure that they can stick around here in the fourth?
The thing that I'm surprised about is that neither team has more rushing yards than passing yards. And Laverne, usually in the past, we've seen them run the ball more. In my past experience with them, they've had more penalties. So I think that they need to just keep in control of the ball. They have more time possession. You know, they have more passing yards, or they're even. They have more rushing yards. They need to just control the ball, control the clock, and cut down on the penalties. They only have 2 so far, which is fantastic for them.
Coach Creek has wanted to play a game of clock management today against the Bulldogs. The #1 rushing defense here in Skyac. They gave up $150 a week ago on the ground to CMS. Laverne was trying to run it early and hard. They've got 67 yards on the ground, but really the bright spot to me has been the third down play in the passing of that of Josh Evans. He's got 102 yards per game average on the season, $113 in the first half. Josh told me earlier in the week, I want to throw on third down. He's done it efficiently. What do you like what you see?
What I like is that he's delivering the ball. There are also certain things I don't like as much as they're not giving him those rhythm routes. They're not giving him the easy pitch and catches, the slants, the hitches. They're expecting him to throw the ball downfield, and they're rolling him out too much, in my opinion. So I wish that they just have him take a nice little drop, pitch the ball, get an easy 5 yards, get him in a rhythm.
Josh Evans, a guy that has a history of concussions, ankle injuries, and you talked about it, rolling him out too much. What does that do? It exposes him, allows guys to come in and get late hits. Josh Evans, you've got to keep him clean. You've got to keep him healthy. You've got to keep him in the pocket. You've got to let him run the RPO, and do it well. Josh Evans has got to be ready here in the second half. Garcia to kick. We're rolling. Third quarter. Here we go. 14-10 your score as we start. Good return for Redlands. He's got life. He's got room. Is he gone? He's housing it. Number 14 on the return for Redlands, Jeff Hector. See you later.
Speed kills. Speed kills.
And if you are Redlands and you saw a stagnant offense there in the second quarter, how do you produce offense? On defense, on special teams. When you are not ticking, they did it there. A house call on the kickoff. Mike Maynard making some adjustments at halftime. The 31-year coach, he's a vet. He's got players under him who will respond, and they do so here to start the third. 20-10, your score now before the extra point.
If I'm Laverne's special teams coordinator, I am frustrated because the whole point of a kickoff is to keep them inside, funnel them inside, and they let them outside.
And they certainly did not do that. That was a house call down the left side of the field, and you'll see it right here. He's tiptoeing the sideline the whole way, but he has got daylight. There is no contain there on the outside, and not even a deep guy to give this dude a shot. It is Hector to the house, and it is 21-10 your score before Laverne touches the ball here in the third quarter. Laverne will go back to receive.
Nice effort by Diego, though. Kicker made a chance.
Gonzalez and Holiday, the two running backs, back to receive for Laverne. And we'll see if Laverne can play this game of field possession. They weren't able to do it very well in the first half. They always started pretty far back into their own zone. Josh Evans was able to bail them out of Dodge on a few occasions on third down. But if they can start getting the ball starting at midfield or around the 40, we'll see how this opens up that offense in different ways.
That's why they say there's three phases of the game: offense, defense, and special teams. Special teams sets up the place of the ball, and if you can't win field position, you're in for a long game.
Back to receive, Gonzalez. He's got burners. Ball falls in front of him. He's going to pick it up. He's going to be swarmed down on the 8-yard line, and that is exactly what Laverne was not looking for.
This is a bad start for this Laverne team. First, you let a touchdown go by, and then you go and you botch the kickoff.
So Gonzalez botches the return. Laverne backed up deep. Josh Evans back out on the field.
Look for them to be conservative and just run the ball.
Tight end to the left. They run to the left. They fight forward for 5 yards. And Gonzalez on the carry there, stopped by Matthew Betancourt, the sophomore out of Cajon High School in San Bernardino.
Making the tackle. I think that's on the 14-yard line. Gain of 4.
Gain of 4, 2nd and 6. The audible smooth Bob Dyer up in the PA box for Laverne. Hall of Famer, Board of Trustees member. When Bob Dyer's in the building, things are good here at Laverne. Running to the left, they fight forward for maybe a yard or two. Again, Gonzalez on the carry. And you're gonna have 2nd, or rather 3rd and 5 now, Zach.
They've ran this zone play at least 5 times today, and he's had a cutback lane all 5 times. I wish a coach would tell him something.
If you're head coach Chris Creek, you might bring your team together on the sidelines and tell them, calm down. How were we at the end of the second? Let's be there.
It's a lot more time.
They pick up a big first here. Things change very quickly. You got Grayson Allen out here to the right. They're going to go back to the run, and they are going nowhere. And you opt to go to the run. I don't understand when Evans has been so good on 3rd down today, and you had 3rd and 5 there.
It was actually shorter. It was only 3rd and 2, but I get what you're saying. They expect the runs coming. I don't understand why you can't bite them in with the play action or even roll them out like they've been doing all day.
Betancourt again in on the tackle. It's Laverne offense coming back off the field. And expecting for a big punt to change field position. Give their defense an opportunity to make a big stop. Back to receive. David Molina. Punt, End-over-end punt. We're going to see if Molina will field it. Goes on the bounce. A Leopards bounce fielded by Molina. They're not going to keep contained. No block in the back. Molina with a good return. He gets out past midfield. And a good Redlands return past the 50 with Molina leading the way. Tackle there on the coverage team by Robert Franklin.
Robert Franklin making the tackle.
Special teams not doing what they need to be doing to keep this Laverne team at striking distance.
The Gunners are very aggressive for Laverne, which is good in a sense, but also when you make the first man miss, there's no one back there to help him out.
And again, we've talked about what the Gunners are. To the coverage team, you've got to keep contained. They don't, again, Molina scurries out wide. He fights forward for a 15-yard return. Levi Plant, 20 yards. And an absolute stick at the end by Cameron Mooneyham.
This guy just runs the offense. I don't know what it is about him. It's the athleticism about him. It's his character. He's just a great player. This offense clicks when he's in.
And albeit Martinez, very serviceable. But you've got to like what you've seen out of Plant today. He's 5 of 5. He's rushed for a touchdown. He's thrown for a touchdown. You've got to think that this is the guy that you stick with going into the fourth quarter. They try to move the ball to the right. They move forward for a yard, 2nd and 9. Kennedy on the carry.
Kennedy, the ball carrier. Hunter Johnson making the stop.
Kennedy moving to his left, fighting up to first down yardage. And they'll be right at it. They're going to move the chains. A good run there by Kennedy.
This goes back to what you were saying earlier, how they had a forefront. They're able to run that sweep, hook the end. There's no one on the outside to get them.
Brandon Aragon in on the tackle for Laverne. This would be an absolute blow to Laverne if they go back-to-back 7 points on the first 2 times they touched the ball. Laverne was in striking distance, or so they thought, 14-10. Plant, back, set. Laverne D, that's number 90, in on the tackle.
Talked about the 27-yard line. That's about 7 on the play.
Corey Sanders, the D tackle, in on the play.
That's what you got to do when you're this close to the end zone. Defenses have to ball out, give them some pressure.
Now you've got 2nd and 17. A much better feeling if you're the Leopards right now. You look and they're on the 28-yard line. This will be a 45-yard field goal from here. Minimize the damage if you're Laverne.
We've seen NFL players miss from this distance.
Mason Crosby most recently. Cross the middle again. Up, close to a first down. They're about 5 yards short, but about a 13-yard gain on the play. Blake Roy, the tight end, again on the reception, and back in healthy field goal range is the Dogs.
These are those easy rhythm routes where you just have a guy go 10 yards, turn around, spot him.
He's got 3rd and 5, ball on the Laverne 15.
Empty set here.
Plant in the shotgun. Broken play. He's going to run. He might find 7. He does.
15-yard scamper.
7 touchdowns now for him. He is now in sole possession of the most rushing touchdowns in SCIAC.
Levi Plant leading the way in the rushing attack for the Bulldogs today. He's got 9 carries for 50 yards, 2 touchdowns, 96 through the air, well balanced, and that spark that this Bulldogs offense has needed. Laverne very quickly finding themselves down, pending the extra point, 17, if not 18, if the extra point is good. And this Leopard offense, which had some signs of life, which had a head of steam, now is fighting from a significant deficit, 18 points with 9:23 left in the third. What does Laverne D got to do to help out this defense?
Well, the last touchdown play was difficult for them because Redlands went empty, and what that means is that they have no running back in the backfield. They had 5 receivers out there, and when they did that, Laverne decided to empty out the box, and they only had about 5 to 6 guys in there, which is what you want to do because you're expecting pass out of that. But when you have an athlete back there in Levi Plant, can't give him an opportunity to run.
You're almost better off if you're Laverne running a QB spy and just having a guy and eyes on him at all times. But even with Plant, he might beat you there.
That's the issue. When you want to go man, you want to bring pressure, you're not always going to have a guy that's able to watch him.
And that's where you really think Plant is just serviceable in this offense. His ability on broken plays to not just extend them, but to get positive yardage with his feet gives you a whole different dimension. As Zachary mentioned earlier, 7 rushing touchdowns for Plant. Now that is number 1 in SCIAC, 1 ahead of James Gonzalez of Laverne, who's got 1 today. You see Levi Plant just running towards that marker at the end zone, and his wheels allow him to get around the edge and find 6.
His lateral movement is a little underrated. We haven't been talking about that as much.
Josh Evans, a guy who has lateral movement, but not getting to utilize it here as, again, a give to Holiday. Moving to the right side, 2 yards, 2nd and 8 for Laverne.
Holiday, the ball carrier.
They haven't been as successful with the run, but I think they should be because the running backs, in my opinion, aren't really hitting the hole as they should.
On the tackle.
So he had a slim opening on that last play, but just didn't take it.
Again, back in the shotgun, Josh Evans. Multiple receivers to his left. He's going to roll out to the left. That's where Evans has been very efficient today, rolling to his left, throwing with his right hand.
Evans to Arturo Herrera.
Typically, you like to see it the other way to get some more leverage thrown off that back foot, but Evans such an athlete to able to square up his shoulders and throw downfield. Another first down for the Leopards with Evans on the run, and he finds Arturo Herrera again for another catch.
Like you said, rolling to the left is a little uncommon, but most quarterbacks enjoy rolling to the right. When you roll to the left, it forces you to get square, like you said, and it gets you in a better throwing motion.
Very true. Holiday leaps over the lineman, scurries forward for 6, and Bob Dyer saw what I saw. An athletic play by Holiday. He leaps the line, fights forward. Marvin Perkins in on the tackle.
Marvin Perkins Jr. making the tackle. 2nd and a long 2.
8 yards on the first down for Holiday. Those are the chunks you like to see out of the running back, hitting the hole hard there, like you were talking about, Zach.
Yeah, he did go a little more. It's just that hurdle slowed down his speed.
Holiday through the hole. First down.
Holiday
Keeps the legs moving. Keep the chains going.
Gain about 4 yards on the play.
Chad Virgil in on the tackle.
Senior running with some purpose.
Marvin Perkins again, the ball check tackler.
Running the ball a lot, forcing those DBs to honor the run. I'm looking to see Grayson Klein on a big play here later in this drive.
We won't be seeing him go over the top. The corners have been playing at least 8 yards off this whole time.
This one up the middle, and they're liking Holiday's running style right now. They stick with him up the middle. Betancourt in on the tackle. 2 yards on the play for Holiday.
But, you know, big plays don't always have to go over the top. Like I said, the corners have been playing 8 to 10 yards off, but you're able to give those receivers just a little dump pass, something quick, get them going as much as the quarterback.
Evans, shotgun, running back to the left, protection to his left in the tight ends. He moves it to the right. Playing in the middle of the field now, Evans. Run pass option, he'll keep. Evans around the edge, using his legs. And you like to see Evans on some of those plays uses his legs because not only his versatility to make somebody miss, but it keeps him involved, keeps those legs moving. Evans is a guy that is so good with his legs, you like to see him utilize them to his capacity.
Yeah, as we saw Marvin Perkins push him out of bounds. He's able to do all this stuff, but I want to see him at least get a rhythm going, not so stagnant.
Evans looking to the sideline for the audible. Protection moved to his right. And they're going to pull. Fullback across. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Perkins again on the tackle. Gonzalez stopped.
On the play. Brings play
This drive,
forward.
they've had a consistent 8 guys in the box. Normally, teams try to go away from running the ball in these situations.
On the 3rd and short play, Gonzalez cannot pick up the first down. 4th and 1, Redlands backed up into their zone, but Laverne going to punt here. Now opting to go with a different punter in this short punting situation. The punt with some backspin falls in, and what an unbelievable kick. Gonna go out inside the 5-yard line, and that's how you get it done.
About the 2-yard line.
As you mentioned, they put out a different punter. I guess Redlands also noticed that because one of the edge rushers had a wide open lane to get to him, but he stopped and held his contain because he thought it was a fake.
Incredible punt, backs Redlands up. And if you're Laverne here, backed up into the 2-yard line, you've got to think that you bring the house here on maybe the first play to apply some pressure to see if you can get a sack in the end zone.
You know, it's all risk and reward as well. If you do bring the house, you're going to leave the middle or the seams wide open, and quarterbacks have been so well at throwing that today. Look for Redlands to run away from Austin Brown.
Got 7 in the box. They rush 1. They keep 1 at the line of scrimmage, drop 1 into containment there, as it is Blake Roy with the catch, number 18 on the tackle. Andrew Carnago, the safety, rolling up.
Yeah, when we talk about that play action, like we said earlier, it brings the linebackers in. Linebacker's first step is to stop the run. That opens up passing lane behind him.
Middle of the field has been Blake Roy's all day. And for Levi Plant, he has the luxury of those nice passes in rhythm or the ability to take off and run. Kennedy with the give to the right side, finds some running room and fights upfield close to the first down.
Tripped up by Andrew Camargo.
Pickup of about 8 on the play.
23-yard line.
So they're backed up to the 2, now out to the 23 on 2 plays. They are just ticking on offense right now.
It seems like anything they're doing is working.
4:04 left here in the 3rd quarter. Kennedy swarmed by the Laverne defense, but not before they find the first down.
The first down. Call out to the 30.
Offense number 8. Play.
Connor Johnson making the stop.
Connor Johnson in on the stop for the Leopards, the tackle leader for this Leopards team, and a guy who's really anchored it down in his 3-year starting tenure for the Leopards. 4-year player. He saw some time his freshman year, but they really lean on Connor Johnson and Austin Brown there on the Laverne defense. Austin Brown coming in at the end of that play to finish the tackle.
Both guys we talked about earlier in the pre-show. Great athletes, great guys on this defense.
Now, albeit every guy plays their position, but that you wouldn't mind if you had 11 Austin Browns or 11 Connor Johnsons on your team.
Besides quarterback, the most important position is football is either a left tackle or a pass rusher, and that's what Austin Brown is.
Pass rusher up the middle, too. Not off the ends, much like an Aaron Donald-esque.
Backus making the stop.
We're going to have about 2:30 left when they snap the ball.
Timon Backus, the linebacker, in on the stop. 2:30 here on the clock. Left in the 3rd quarter. 28-10 your score. Redlands with the ball and with the lead. Levi Plant in the backfield in the shotgun for the Leopards. Running back to his right. Drops back. 3-step slant and overthrows the receiver. That was number 84.
Blake Roy, incomplete.
Jacob Huff, the intended receiver.
There they are again attacking the seams, which they've had success all day.
So many different weapons for Plant. Feels like every time you look, he's got an open receiver, and he's spreading the ball around and sharing the wealth.
Well, that's how you start out 5 for 5 of the game. They've just had control this whole 3rd quarter.
Plant now 7 of 9 on the day. 110 yards with a touchdown. But here are Redlands punt.
Alex Reyes
An
punting.
incredible punt. Return man for Laverne. Able to break the first tackle, fights forward for about a 7-yard return out to the 24. Number 8 on the return, Amir Bishop.
Mayor Bishop on the return.
Bishop scared me a little bit on that one. It seemed like he held the ball away from his body.
Bishop, who's got a catch as well today for 35 yards. Leading the way for the receiving corps, Grayson Klein. He's got 3 for 50 yards. Evans, play action. Over the top, missed the receiver, but I think they're going to call a hold on number 23 of the defense, P.J. Wilson, for the intended target, Arturo Herrera. See what the
Penalty
call
flag
is.
on the play.
Holding. Defense. Number 23. 10-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
And he was holding Herrera, the intended target there, who was simply just running a fade route.
Laverne got lucky on that call. I don't understand that route. Corner's playing 8 yards off. They have a safety coming over the top to make sure he can't catch anything deep, and he's still throwing over there.
Got to drop an absolute bullet if you're going to do that. And he kind of floated that right over the top, did Evans. So maybe they get away with one. 1st and 10 after the penalty. Evans rolling to his right, and he throws it away. With pressure on the play. There's a flag down on the field. It was 32 who was in on the play. Jared Emmanuel, the intended target downfield. Amir Bishop holding on the offense. And that is just huge when you get first down by virtue of penalty on the defense and you complement that coming back the other way with the holding on the offense. Puts you right back where you started now with 1st and 20.
This is what I've seen in the past couple games with Laverne. They keep stepping on themselves. They keep getting penalties and pushing themselves further back. I was proud of them in the first half because they only had 2, but now it seems like they're going back to it.
Penalties, something that Laverne has got to minimize. They've got 3 for 27 yards today, which is relatively modest. But albeit, you'd like to see a big goose egg up on the scoreboard in that category. Perkins again with the stop for Redlands.
In these long situations, you like to get at least half of what you have to get so you can set up yourself for a comfortable 3rd down.
A $1:20 left here in the 3rd. Laverne trails by 18. 2nd and 16. Back to pass. Picked off. Linebacker just dropped back into coverage. Was able to catch that post route there by the Leopards player. That is number 37, Marvin Perkins, with the pick, and about a 12 to 15-yard return after the pick.
Evans just had his mind set up from the second it was snapped. He knew who he was going to throw it to, just didn't even see the linebacker.
And there, Perkins dropping well into coverage, and albeit a good play, but if you're Evans, you've got to stare guys off, look the other side of the field at the very least.
23.
Not even stare him off. Just notice that the linebacker's right where you want to throw the ball. Go away. Roll out as he's been doing all day or throw the ball away. Live another play.
Perkins with his 3rd interception of the season as now it goes back to the Redlands offense. Plant smothered by Austin Brown. Another sack for Brown. So he was able to beat the guard, get upfield. Swarm to Plant.
He was at least able to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Up until this point in the game with 40 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, 226 total yards for Redlands, 225 for Laverne.
Very much a defensive game here.
Laverne's rushed for 40 yards here in the 2nd half, but only 1 pass completion here in the 2nd half. Plant on the run with the catch. David Molina running towards the sideline, works his way upfield. 1st down for Plant, moving to his right and throwing it to the sidelines.
You have an athlete like Plant, might as well get him moving. See what he can make with his legs and then second you have a back or a corner come up, try to stop the run, you'll throw it right over your head.
Fourth quarter now, both sides of the field putting up the fourth quarter sign. Fourth quarter means business. Redlands has been all business today.
4's up, baby.
Four's up. 4 touchdowns for the Redlands Bulldogs today. 3 on offense, 1 on special team. And at the end of the third quarter, 28-10, your score. We'll step aside. You're watching SCIAC football on LVTV3, Laverne Community Television. Back here at the start of the fourth quarter on LVTV3, Laverne Community Television. Al Hargrave alongside Zach Nicolai. Zach, Laverne trailed 14-10 coming into the third. It was a quick kickoff return and a quick score with the legs of Levi Plant that has had Laverne trailing here ever since. Plant in the shotgun. Using his legs, running to the right, running out of bounds, running for a first down. And Levi Plant, the guy you'd love to lean on.
Holding, offense, number 54, 10-yard penalty, first down.
It was Connor Johnson in on the pressure, but it was Braden Alvarez, the junior coming out of Grand Terrace High School, with the hold. It's going to back him up and negate the first down, and now it puts you in the second and long position. A huge blow for the Redlands Bulldogs, who were trying to ice the game at this point.
Quick update on number 21, who was hurt earlier. He's now seen on crutches without his pads.
21 for the Bulldogs, Kikoa Wilcom, who was hurt on one of the first kickoff coverages of the game. Plant tackled by number 9, Preston Carr, the linebacker, who came up and had a nice fill on the scrambling Plant.
It's nice that they're starting to have containment on him. You know, you see a guy drop back so many times, escape the pocket. Once you're able to start containing him and force him to start becoming a just pocket passer, that's when the game's going to start changing.
Levi Plant looking at third down.
Empty set again.
Empty set, third and long across the middle, throws behind the receiver. Laverne's going to get off the field, but will you go for it on fourth?
No, you're winning by so much. Going to kick a field goal. You're going to make it a 3-possession game. They're looking to get control of this game so far.
Right now, ball on the 20. It'd be a 37-yard field goal. No sign of a field goal kicker. Excuse me, we still got third and about 17 to go. They don't get yardage. Expect a field goal kicker. Here, a scramble. They fight forward, and now you're looking close to a 30-yard chip shot for the kicker. They'll run him out there for the Redlands offense as they fight back to the original first down marker.
Again, great containment on Laverne's defense. They're starting to figure it out.
Derek Shea adapting to the schemes of Redlands offense. Laverne, these past 2 possessions against the Redlands offense, has looked pretty good on defense.
Starting to figure it out late in the game. Let's hope it's not too little too late.
You've got to look for some quick strikes. Laverne in the early part of the game looked to slow down the pace. Will they go to the hurry up? Strong kick, no good to the right. That kicker has some leg, but pushes it too far to the right. The Leopards still down by 18, so still a 3-possession game.
Nothing went wrong on that kick. It was a good hold, good snap. Looked like you just missed it.
So Laverne going to turn over the Redlands Bulldogs on down. They'll receive the ball down around their own 20. It'll be an 80-yard field for Josh Evans in the Leopards offense. 13-12 left. Zach, you're down by 18. How do you play this if you're Coach Creek?
I'm going West Coast offense. I'm getting little gains on throwing the ball, short passes. Pretty soon it's going to start loosening up the defense, and I can take a shot.
Little gains could potentially be big gains. You're the Laverne receiving corps. You make one miss.
I've been told my whole time as a football player, give it to an athlete, let him be an athlete.
Josh Evans on the keeper.
Josh Evans trying to fight his way to the sidelines. Swarmed at the end of the play. Trouble getting up for Evans. He'll trot back over, a little shooken up. Evans trotting back over now. Laverne can't afford Evans to go down now. But those are the plays where you've got to protect Evans outside of the pocket like we mentioned at the half.
This is a time where, again, take care of the ball and just make smart decisions.
Ball security probably more pivotal than even gains. Sure, you can get gains, but if you're going to turn over the ball and throw it away like Evans did, throwing across his body, you're not going to give your team a chance. Evans throws it away there, and probably a smart move for Evans, who was on the move to his right. Typically today, throwing back across his body, rolling to the left is where he's been strong. Dumps it out there. You see another down. 12:22 left here in the fourth.
He's had 2 drop back passes. One of them was picked off. I understand the coaching staff sees that as a little bit of an issue, but you got to be able to trust your quarterback in these situations. Here's a drop back pass.
Evans now on the run. Nice coverage by the underneath linebacker who had a pick just in the third quarter. It was Marvin Perkins again on the pass breakup. Laverne special teams coming out again. And when you're fighting from 18 down, you cannot go 3 and out.
No. Good job playing the ball by Arturo Herrera, though. Freshman's trying to make a play in triple coverage.
This Redlands D, Zach, they don't get beat over the top. Very infrequently do they get beat on big plays. We can think of maybe just one of them today, that 35-yard third down conversion. But aside from that, they've really minimized the damage, and they're getting good field position and giving Plant the ball. And that's about the best thing you can do for this football team.
Their defense, they've been having 6 or 7 in the box. They've been playing cover 3 where you have the corners off, the safeties back. You're asking a team to throw the ball in the curl, in the flat, in the seam, and Laverne's just not doing any of that. They want to keep continuously running the ball, which is great for setting a tone, but when you're this far behind, you got to be able to throw the ball.
Well, you're also seeing the athletes there because they're trusting their athletes in that cover 3 look to basically play man, play straight up with these receivers, not get beat over the top, and they're minimizing the coverage, or rather giving good coverage in the middle. So Josh Evans there, even on a couple of those dropbacks, unable to find any guys. He throws 2 balls away when they do let him throw. So tip your cap, Redlands D. First down, David Molina.
Quick little pass in the flat. Let him do something with it. That's an example of one of those rhythm throws. Just take your drop back, throw a 2-yard pass, and let him do something with it.
And we talked about Laverne having a need to go to that too. Get those little dump downs, make a guy miss, turn it into an 8-yard chunk. They go again to Molina, and again, that dump down turns into another first down. Personnel change for Laverne.
Laverne's playing a cover 2 with their corners loose. What this is doing is that's allowing everything underneath to be open. And Redlands is taking exactly what the defense is giving them. What's going to happen is if they keep doing that, Laverne's defense is going to come in, take a shot.
You will tip your cap to the Laverne run defense today. In terms of playing between the tackles, it's been there. It's been Levi Plant off the edges rushing for first down. Connor Kennedy, their horse, 11 carries for just 35 yards on the day.
Yeah, Plant is the best running back on the field today.
And majority of times that's broken plays, a couple of them design runs. Here. Quick pitch.
Fumble.
And Laverne thinks they've got it.
Laverne does have
comes up with the ball. And number 20 on the recovery for Laverne, Cameron Moneyham with the fumble recovery for Laverne, giving them life, stopping a big drive that quite literally, if they go down and they put up a touchdown and it's a 4-score game, game's over.
Exactly, but Kennedy got a little too excited. He saw open field, just didn't hold on to the ball.
You talked about seeing open field for Kennedy. He hasn't seen much of that today. We just talked about 35 yards on 10 carries prior to.
Yeah.
Evans, design rollout, dumping it. There you go. 6 yards on the play. Kevin Stark with the reception, the fullback.
Fullback acts like he's making a block, escapes into the flat. You see that a lot of in a lot of pro games.
Gain of about 5 on the play.
Get you one that can do both.
Talk about how important versatility is nowadays.
Josh Evans again, design rollout. Behind Stark, penalty flagging. You got to imagine that's a hold on the Laverne offensive line.
They threw it at the snap. I believe it was a neutral zone infraction.
Take the neutral zone infraction. Just hope no false start if that's the case. The call coming in. Looks like it was a false start on Laverne. They're looking over to the Redlands sidelines. You want to decline? Maybe too many men on the field?
Illegal formation.
Illegal formation.
Offense. Too many men in the backfield. Penalties decline. 3rd down.
Not enough guys on the line.
Certainly, you'll take that. It's a 0-yard play anyway, so why not decline it?
Exactly. These are basics, though, that they teach you in football. You need to have at least 7 guys on the line. There's no excuse for that.
Laverne playing catch-up. 9:58, down by 18. Evans in the backfield here in the 4th quarter. 28-10 your score. Evans trying to dump it over the top. He does. He's got a man downfield. Amir Bishop on the nice corner route. He goes over the top to Bishop, and one of the few times that Redlands has gotten beat. What did you see there by the Redlands defense?
He's just faster than everyone right now. Earlier he caught a seam route where he just ran right by his defender. Right now he looks like the fastest guy on the field, and like I keep saying, speed kills.
And it was Vinny Van Horn in on the tackle, but it was the DB covering the flats there. So on the corner route, over the top help coming from the safety, just beat him.
It was a well-placed ball.
Evans, quick strike again. 1st down, 7 yards. That's how we draw it up. 13, Arturo Herrera.
Here we are coming with those rhythm routes. He's throwing those hitches, those corners where it's just a nice 1, 2, 3, ball out. This is what they need to start doing.
Zach, you can feel the pace. You can literally feel the energy on the field change when they go to this, and you've got to think that Josh Evans is feeling what we're feeling too. You've got rhythm, you've got confidence, you've got guys in the midst of the game. Evans drops back, rolls out on the broken play. Attempted target going to be dropped. Intended for Grayson Klein, who's running towards the sideline. Some pressure coming from the backside, trailing by the Redlands defensive line. 2nd and 10 for Josh Evans with 9 minutes to go. Down by 18. You go down and score here in the next 30 seconds to a minute. This game looks a lot different.
21-17, down by 11 points. I've seen crazier things happen.
Wide open, Amir Bishop, albeit it was Josh Evans trying to escape the pressure. But if he drops that into Bishop, not just the 1st down, but they're inside the 10, possibly the 5.
Those are points where you just got to tell your quarterback, hey, play catch. It's easy. He's right there. There wasn't a guy within about 5, 7 yards of him. Just got to lay it in there.
3rd and 10. Is this 4-down territory for Evans and the Leopards? Evans, shotgun, rolling to his right. Big play. Evans with that 5-yard check down there with somebody running to the boundary. He gets up north, does Garcia for the 1st down.
This defense is playing great all day, but what I don't understand they haven't seen so far is every time he rolls out, it's a flood concept. You have guys out breaking, and these defenders still don't escape to the outside.
But if you're Evans and you continue to see that look, you expose him.
Exactly.
Take your shots. Evans rolling back the other way. Design rollout. Cutting back. Evans going to use his leg. Overthrows the receiver again. Klein. He had him in the end zone.
That was there, but you saw the defensive end coming right at him. Had to get rid of the ball.
Had to get rid of it quick. Sure, he's running towards the pylon. Is Klein. Good job by Evans, though, to lead Klein and make sure he's the only guy that can catch that ball.
Exactly. Take care of the ball.
8:21, and nonetheless, if you're going to throw it away, you stop the clock. You got to play clock management at this point. They're inside the 20 now, or rather inside the 10. They got 2nd and goal down on the 8 of Redlands. Evans drops back, sets his feet, gets inside the 5, and now you're going to have 3rd and goal. Tough play call if you're Coach Warsaw here.
Yeah. We've been talking about this offense this whole drive, but that defensive play right there, that was a late release. He was trying to bait him into thinking he was blocking and go out into the flat, and the defender knew that was his man. Great job by him.
Speak of the late release there by the running back Elijah Washington, the freshman who checked in. This is pivotal minutes for Washington, and they want him to be their guy in counterparts of the future. Really close to punching it in is Elijah Washington. You got 4th down. You got 1 or 2 to go. Got to think you keep it on the ground and run it in again.
Like I said earlier, test of manhood. You just got to tell your offensive line, you have to hope they believe that they're more physical and stronger than the other team.
Again, they are going to stop them short of the goal line on 4th down. Elijah Washington, no push up front, and Laverne had their chance. They had it right there in their grasp, and it's Elias Hackney, the 6'5", 260-pound defensive lineman, getting north and south, getting the run stop, stopping the bleeding. 0 points, Laverne, heartbreaking.
It's really difficult because in those situations you see on Sundays, you see on Saturdays, you see where they try to throw the ball up to receivers. There's no real mismatch here. You know, corners are about the same size as the receivers. Their arm length, everything's really the same. So really all they have is either Evans running it in or, as we were talking about earlier, Gonzalez doing it.
I cannot help but think back to the Super Bowl 4 years ago. Marshawn Lynch, let's run. That 3-yard in route, Malcolm Butler with the pick. My gosh. The Seahawks blowing it to Tom Brady himself. Stephen Van Grauwen, tempted target there. Ball backed up on the 2. Laverne bringing pressure. He had to get rid of it quick, did Plant. Trying to dump it down the sideline over the top. As Molina will check back in.
Again, they got to play. They want the ball back. Can't allow them to keep eating clock. They got to get the ball back, like I said earlier. So you got to keep bringing pressure. Force them to make a mistake or just force them to not move the ball.
And this is where you've got to play sound if you're the cornerbacks for Laverne. You know they're dropping back to try and get big plays on you. Here they run up the middle with Kennedy, get out past the 5. So now, 3rd down.
That's about the 7-yard line.
And this is the game really right here. 5 yards to go. And if you're Laverne, if they punch ahead and get another 1st down, they're eating out at least another 1.5 minutes of clock. Because then it's just a game of clock possession. And for them, you'd assume they run, be content with punting. So here, Laverne, the biggest play of the game that they've been looking for, they need to stop. 3rd and 5. Plant, design run, up the middle, close to the 1st. He's got it. You can take a breath if you're Redlands. This thing hanging in the balance for Laverne. They've got 3 timeouts, but that was the play you needed if you wanted a shot to get back into this down 18.
Yeah, I mean, Plant's most impactful player that we've seen on the field today. He's thrown the ball, ran the ball. He's done everything but catch the ball. He's the most important player for this Redlands team right now.
Preston Carr in on the tackle. And again, Redlands just eating up every bit of that play clock right now. Tick, 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 tick. Under 6 minutes now. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Clock will continue to roll. Leopards down by 18. Preston Carr again in on the tackle for Laverne and still playing good run defense. But Levi Plant on 3rd down. He's their X factor today on 3rd down.
He's been doing fantastic, and I love that they're trying to slow down the game because most times when you see quarterbacks They come out here, they're not aware of the clock. They try to get the team on the ball. You can tell that this is a senior quarterback taking his time.
Levi Plant saying, been there, done that. And now he's going to say, been there, potentially. How's that? Plant with the legs, cut back, spin move. Johnny Football on the run, 70 yards for Levi Plant. And for Laverne, absolutely tough to swallow when you've been so good against the run today. It's been the design run there of Levi Plant that ultimately is the dagger for the Redlands Bulldogs against the Laverne Leopards. Here's your replay, and you see Plant just runs away from defenders.
The reason he was able to get that wide open is, as I said earlier, you set up plays for later, and what they did for the last pitch is when he pitched it, and if you remember, Connor Kennedy fumbled it. He made a little move, made the guy run over the top, and that made a wide open lane for him.
Andrew Camargo, good job trailing the play, comes up with the tackle. Now Kennedy fighting up the middle. Nice push by Kennedy. And for Laverne, this is just a game that you circle on your calendar every year. It's Redlands. Redlands has always got guys. They've got a 31-year head coach in Mike Maynard. They've got a good culture. They've got a winning tradition. Darren Hook's there on the tackle. And Darren Hook's a guy that loves to be in the midst of these games. And so unfortunate for Laverne that really that change of momentum off of a costly mistake coming out of the second half. It's really where you look back, and that was where the turning point changed in the game.
Hunter Johnson.
Yeah, turnovers are the story of the second half. I mean,
For the tackles.
you just capitalize on them, and hats off to Redlands for being able to do that.
Clock under 3:45 now. 28-10 your score. The Leopards trail on their home field here at Ortmeyer Stadium. Plant 147 yards through the air today. Nearly 150 on the ground for Plant.
That's my MVP.
Talk about well balanced. You go 150 and 150. What more does your team want from you?
Plant on the keeper. Picks up the first down. Follow the Laverne 8.
Just look up at that scoreboard. The clock continuing to dwindle down. About to be under 3 minutes at the snap of this next ball for Redlands. And Levi Plant still out on the field in the shotgun. There's Joe Cool out there for Levi Plant. Calm, cool, collective. And now controlling the line of scrimmage is that Redlands offensive line.
Third down here, look for them to just keep the ball on the ground. If they score, they're happy. If not, they'll take a field goal.
Ball on the 5. They're up by 18. A field goal makes it a 21-point game. Worst thing that can happen to you is you can tie with no extra points. Or rather with no 2-point conversions. Nonetheless, Plant will drop back here on third down. And of course, is that Roy?
Roy for the touchdown.
Tight end Roy, 6'3", 220, Camas, Washington. Reppin' Blake Roy.
Great play call right there. Laverne thought the same thing as me. They were just going to keep the ball on the floor. Redlands says, no, this is a league game. We're going to take control of this.
And you see the beauty of when you have an offensive line that can give you time. Roy set up strong left there. He was coming from the left side of the field. You see Plant roll out to the right, and here comes Roy trailing. Wide open. Extra point. Snap is good. Kick is up. Kick is good.
Kick is up and good. Goal left for the ball game.
25-point deficit now for the Leopards. 2:08 to play. Leopards trailed 14-10 at the half. 21 unanswered here by Redlands in the second half.
Great throw over the top.
And you see Plant there. Throw off that back foot. Doesn't matter. Back foot, teach you to throw off the front. But with him on the run, he's butter.
Now here as a coach for your offense, if you're Laverne, you just want them to keep playing hard. You don't want them to put their heads down. You don't want them to quit playing. You want them to keep that morale up, and you want to have positive takeaways from a game.
They thought they did last week, albeit a bottom feeder in league standings in terms of Whittier. But a 23-10 victory is still a win to hang your hat on. Laverne 1-2 in conference play. Redlands 2-1 coming into today. Signs are all pointing to 1-3 for Laverne, 3-1 for Redlands as we head into the last 4 games of the season. And for Redlands, this looks like a potential football team that could play late into November.
Their defense is great. If you ever want to have a great team, the saying is you need a defense. They're great at stopping the run, which a lot of teams in this league seem to be able to do. So we have Josh Evans with a completed pass.
Evans with the completed pass, and you look at the landscape of Skyac. It was maybe 6 or 7 years ago that Chapman joined as an independent team into Skyac, and for the first couple years there, it was really unbalanced. Chapman was getting recruits. They were running over the league. Redlands, they kept pace. Kalu, they kept pace. Since then has fallen off, but Redlands really has never wavered under the tutelage of Mike Maynard. 31 years in the biz. He knows what to do. This guy has established a winning culture. And so if you're Redlands, you also understand with the loss to CMS last week, you may not get into postseason play if you don't win Skyac outright. So they're going to need CMS to lose twice to think about getting it. Skyac not getting much love compared to some of these other D3 conferences. You talk about the Pac Northwest, talk about some of those Midwest Northern most conferences. They get a lot of love in St. Thomas. So for Redlands, this might be an uphill battle, but you take it one game at a time if you're Mike Maynard.
Of course, as there's a timeout on the field. The thing that's great about coaching and that makes a great coach is being able to adapt. And Mike Maynard, being in the business for 31 years, having that winning culture, being able to have this program, and you see the team out on the field, they're great just watching them. They're balanced, they're able to stop the run, everything you can ask for of a team. And so for him to be able to keep coaching for 31 plus years, it shows just his dynamic of being a person, being able to teach these kids not only football, as of life. You don't stay a coach for that long if you're not a great person.
Evans, back in the shotgun. Pump fake, on the run here, running towards the marker. Makes one miss, runs out of bounds, untouched. Evans getting forward for 3 yards. And really, you just gather that this is the mentality that, hey, your brother will pick you up. And same but different, but I don't know if you heard it the other night. They had LeBron James mic'd up in his first game on the road at Portland, and he told Kyle Kuzma, yo, stay on the ground, your brother will come pick you up. That's really the mentality that's been instilled here at Redlands, whether it's literal or figurative. These guys are in unison. They're out on the field on timeouts. There's just a camaraderie here that if you're Mike Maynard, you're saying, okay, I think we've got what it takes to get to the postseason and make a run.
Yeah, as Josh Evans completes a pass down the right field side. You know, that's what you're told as a quarterback. Your lineman's going to pick you up. Receivers, you're down, other receivers are going to come pick you up. It's just that brotherhood. It's that character of the guys, and that's what Redlands seems to have here today.
$1:24 left. Fun NCAA football going on all over the place today. Clemson against NC State, TCU against Oklahoma, Michigan State. Gotta love what you saw up in Pullman today. 15 years since College Game Days made their way up there. Corso, Herb Street, Desmond and the guys. Reese Davis, they had Drew Bledsoe in the house. It was a sight to see. Big game against Oregon tonight. Be fun to watch, but still great Division III football here on Skyac Community Television here at LVTV3. But really, there's sports everywhere. If you're from SoCal area, the Dodgers tonight. Game 7, no Kershaw. Brewers have Hader. What do you think?
I'm taking the Brewers over in Game 7. I mean, those young kids, I know the Dodgers were there last year, but I don't know. It'll be interesting. It could go either way.
Another LV3 TV cast member over here giving us a look like, what? You got to be rooting for the Dodgers. We most certainly do here in SoCal. And as a Red Sox fan, I will tell you, I would love to see a couple of games by my boys out here on the West Coast. But do the Dodgers have what it takes behind the arm of Walker Buehler tonight? Yuli Shashin on the mound for the Brewers. That's neither here nor there. $1:15 left. Josh Evans rolls out of Potential tackle. Evans, gosh, this guy. He's just dynamic. Penalty flag on the play. It's going to be a hold on Laverne. What can Josh Evans do for you?
Let's disregard that flag for right now because we know it's against Laverne. That's my favorite play by Josh Evans that I've seen here today. Got a bunch of guys coming at you. You're going to go to the right, jab step, come back to the left. You're able to keep your eyes downfield. We know that he's a great runner. But when you're able to keep your eyes downfield and give someone else a chance, it's great.
Actually, to call a hold against Redlands. So Evans, by virtue of the defensive penalty on Amari McClellan, the junior linebacker, Laverne Leopards will have an opportunity to hang their hat on a potential score at the end of the game. But for Evans, that's where he stays within himself. He can extend plays and do too much. Right there, he does just enough to be fantastic. Evans, designed rollout, check down, get upfield, towards the pylon. They're close, have an opportunity to punch in. We've seen what this Redlands goal line D can do. They did it just last possession. But if you're Laverne, take away a positive here, and they take a timeout, and you got to think this is Coach Creek just saying, let's have a positive momentum going into next week.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, you need to have those positive takeaways from games, win or lose. You know, you're never going to lose a game. It's never just a loss. You have to learn from it. You have to take things away. And so Coach Crick will go over later in the week with their practice plan. Hey, this is what we need to work on better. This is what we need to get if they want to stay competitive in this league.
Occidental will be the opponent for Laverne next week, and a tough one for Redlands next week. At home against Kowloon. It's a big one. Call it their smudge pot game, their homecoming game. If you're Redlands, you got to be pumped about that. And then you end the season, if you're Redlands, with Whittier and Occidental after that. That's got to give you a good feeling.
They have a good chance of winning this league. It just depends on CMS.
Evans with the shovel pass. And again, extending the play, almost getting it back to the line of scrimmage. That was Holiday on what looked like a shovel pass in basketball, but Evans can do it all.
Holiday took exception to that play when it seemed like number 98 ripped the ball out of his hands when he was on the floor.
Evans design rollout to the right. Now looking back to his left, Evans trying to buy time, throws it away. 4th down now. Creek has got to go for this. Down by 25. Team looking towards Coach Warsaw. Can we get 7? And if you're Redlands, these are style points right here.
Yep.
7 points is big to the committee. And good defense, they knock it away. They're gonna call it passers interference. This will move it down to the 2.5-yard line. Laverne will have another trance. Tristan Nichols on the coverage. Pass interference, Laverne with 16 seconds left. We'll have a couple of other shots. No timeouts, so if you
Pass
run,
interference.
get stopped.
Defense, number 35.
Time will
By
keep
rule,
going.
Ball replaced at 2-yard line, automatic, 1st down.
Frank Kidd, the DB.
Now, if you're Laverne here, you've ran the ball so much at the goal line. You've ran the ball so much today. Why not do what Redlands did earlier? Little play action, throw it over their head. Give yourself something to tip your cap on.
Be interested to see if they get Josh Evans moving to his right. Look to stop plant and throw back to his left to get that defense moving that way. No, they're gonna drop back, go to Grayson Klein. He goes up and he gets it. Grayson Klein on his first game back, gonna record the touchdown. And if you see that out of Klein, he's gone up and gotten 2 balls today. Why not some more of that?
That answer is not gonna come from me. He looks like he's a bigger receiver. Evans threw a well-placed ball on his back shoulder. You just gotta play basketball there, box him out, and it looks like that's what Klein did.
Well, and for the defensive back there too against Klein, albeit you can't touch him till the ball hits him, but it looked like he was playing Klein before the ball. Go swat that thing down. That wasn't a jump ball. That was thrown with some pace. So it didn't have an uphill trajectory. Thrown on a relatively flat plane, you're going to have a chance.
Not only that, he can't throw the ball up. They were about 2 yards away from the back end zone. He's not going to be able to lead him. You know it's going to come from the back shoulder.
Sure. If you try to lead him like that on the 2, you're going to have other guys swarming over there, just too small of a field.
Thank everyone for coming today.
Bob Dyer kind of giving his outro, thanking everybody for coming today. But for Laverne, a late score. And you got to like what you see, at least at the end of that game, for Josh Evans to be a fighter, for Grayson Klein in his first game back. He's a senior, mind you, going into the latter part of this season in his last games as a Leopard.
Yeah, and you got another 3 games left, including this one, and you just got to play with some pride. It's great from what we saw from Josh Evans today, keeping plays alive, giving it all. That's what we see from him all year.
So Laverne going to play Oxy next week. We mentioned Kalu coming out to Redlands. Redlands moving to 3-1 on the season. Laverne moving to 1-3. This a pooch kick here. This one covered up by the Bulldogs around the 25. They get pushed out, 7 seconds left. Plant will go out there, take a kneel on it, and this will be it here on LVTV3, Laverne Community Television. What do you think? Oh, I thought they were sending out, and they are. They're sending out another QB. I don't know how you feel about this, but just to come out and take a kneel. How do you guys do this at your level and the high school level?
If it's a blowout, you know, you usually do have the backup in, but when I just had my starter out there and he was the one playing most of the game, give him the satisfaction of taking the kneel.
For sure, and you're talking about Levi Plant carrying the load, 152 through the air, $130 on the ground, well balanced. He scampered for some 63-yard run at the end of the game for the Dagger with 2 on the ground, 2 through the air. Levi Plant, he's my X factor of the game. I'm sure you're thinking something similar.
Oh, yes. Great outing by him. I mean, he started the game, 2 scoring drives, put in the other quarterback. Really wasn't understanding that call at all, but Plant went out there when his team needed him, when his coaches needed him, and he just did what was asked and even more. Levi
Plant, the senior, you've got to hope that he can be your guy if you're Micah Maynard heading into the end of the season. Let's take a look at the Laverne side of things real quick. Josh Evans, 102 passing yards per game coming into today. They gave him 34 pass attempts today. He threw for 251. Do you like what you saw? Or were there still some things in terms of the passing game that you'd like to dumb down if you're the Leopards to give more success to Evans?
What they started doing later in the game with the rhythm routes, as I kept saying throughout the game, they started giving him hitches. Wish they gave him a couple more slants, but if you just do that throughout the game, you're able to stay balanced, you're able to spread the ball around. They're not able to load the box like they were today. If you just keep doing that throughout the game, not only in the fourth quarter when you're playing from behind, Josh Evans, I think, will be a little more successful.
So let's look at some other bright spots for the game, and we're going to start on the Redlands side of things. We talked about Plant. Connor Kennedy with 62 yards on the ground. Their tight end, Blake Roy, 2 touchdowns, 5 for 79 through the air. Big target, 6'3", 220 coming across the middle. That guy seemed to be there in those pivotal moments to bail out Plant.
A lot of it, his first touchdown was in the seam. That's where you see a lot of tight ends going there, either in the flat or in the seam. Just a big body, able to get up, get the ball. Great throw by Plant. The second one was an easy play action throw. You could have threw it, I could have threw it. Uncle Rico could have threw that one, but just an easy pitch and catch. Tight ends are becoming more and more used in today's game, and I love it.
Uncle Rico could have thrown it over the mountains over there. Nonetheless, Holiday and Gonzalez, both over 38 yards on the day. Gonzalez with 1 touch on the ground. Amir Bishop, 2 catches for 74 yards through the air. Grayson Klein, big coming back, 5 for 70 with a touch. And Herrera Caballo, nice looking freshman there. He's got 5 catches for 51 yards, and then Zachary Garcia with 6 catches for 47. So 3 guys over 5 receptions. If you're Josh Evans, you got to have some confidence moving into Occidental next week.
My big takeaway is that Sagasumi was out. That's their #1 receiver. It obviously hurts their receiving team. But you have Amir out there, Amir Bishop. He's the fastest guy on the field. He burned them. If you can incorporate him a little more into the offense, that would be nice.
Laverne reducing the penalties today, 3 for 27, but it doesn't matter. Game of possession was how it went down, and it was in fact won by that of the Redlands Bulldogs. They ran victorious, 35-17 here on LVTV3, Laverne Community Television. We'd like to send a big shout out to our team, all the guys backstairs, and of course, Zachary Nikolai. To my right, this guy had it going on today. I'm Hal Hargrave signing off on LVTV3. You've been listening to SCIAC Football.